Good evening, welcome to Cardiff City TV.
What a finish, what a goal! Dangerous possible escape, they're headed back, good save from Olsen.
Good afternoon, welcome to Cardiff City TV. Welcome to Matchday Live with myself, Ashley Jameson, alongside me, John Donovan, as ever, for home games here at the Cardiff City Stadium. And we've got Rotherham United, a mid-table Rotherham United in town this afternoon, a League One outfit last season. Back to the Championship level this season, and they're settling into life really well. In conjunction, Cardiff, things have gone very badly indeed in the last few weeks, and are we ready to talk about last Sunday yet, John?
No, I've blocked it out. I've been in a dark room for the last 6 days. It's strange, Ash, isn't it? We were here against Coventry and everyone was a bit optimistic. Things have been going well, and what a difference a couple of weeks makes. Unfortunate refereeing decisions against Coventry and QPR, although I would say I thought QPR were bossing us until the sending off. For 7 minutes last week, it looked like the Bluebirds were really up to compete in a derby and were playing well. And then a player who I think we all admire and we all think will come back stronger makes a rash decision. And really, if truth be told, I think all of us, even the most optimistic, thought at that stage it was probably game over. The Bluebirds were resilient, they worked hard, but Swansea were always in control. And it hurts, and you can just feel it. The Cardiff City supporters feel like they've got a weight on their shoulder at the moment. It needs something today, Ash. It just needs something to bring the optimism back.
I think if you were really scrabbling around looking for any kind of silver lining, I think what you can point to is, even with a man short, there was a resiliency in the performance against Swansea that even with 11 men we haven't perhaps seen enough in recent derby games.
Yeah, there absolutely was, and they deserve credit for that. We gave them credit in commentary. Mark Hudson referenced it afterwards, how proud he was of the 10 players plus substitutes after that 7 minute marker. It was always going to be tough going to Swansea. They were going to try and dominate the ball. I thought the three midfielders, when it was 11v11, were doing enough to disrupt, particularly Matt Grimes, who could just dictate the tempo. And when it went down to 10 men, absolutely, they knew how important it was for the fans. I thought the club had done a good job all week, and I'm not involved with the club on a day-to-day basis. I thought the club had really stepped up to say, look, this does mean a lot to us. Don't think it doesn't. And the players responded to that. Joe Rolls spoke with passion. Callum Robinson, as we know, spoke with passion. There's no doubting the fact that the players wanted to do well for the supporters, for the club last week, for themselves. Circumstances conspired against us.
And if we're looking for an obvious response this afternoon, just played two teams who really like to keep the ball, which is a difficult task anyway. The obvious one is to get through 25 minutes with 11 men on the pitch.
Yeah, it is. It's been tough, and it's going to sap the legs the last couple of games. I have no complaints about Robinson sending off. I will defend him and say I think it was just over-enthusiasm, over-exuberance, and he will come back even better from it. But I've got no complaints about that sending off. I was on commentary at Loftus Road. I was aghast at that sending off, and it really was. I'm still even of the mind it wasn't a penalty, to be honest with you. So fate did conspire against Cardiff City that day, but you're absolutely right. You can't play at this Championship level, and we've got another game on Wednesday this week. You've got to keep 11 men on the pitch. Your decision-making's got to be better, and hopefully the players taking the pitch of Cardiff City today, the decision-making in all facets of the game is better.
Yeah, I mean, those games are dwindling now until the World Cup break in Cardiff. Really, they need that break to come, but they really need to go in that break with some kind of a momentum, because if you look at the league table, Rotherham this afternoon, one of those teams, a case in point. I think we've been candid enough, we've spoken here this season, we think it's a particularly poor Championship table. Certainly at the top end, that quality that we've seen in recent seasons just isn't there. But I'd argue that the poor quality that we often see at the bottom end of the table just isn't there, and as a result, Cardiff are finding themselves in a pretty sticky, perilous situation at the moment.
They are, and the Swansea fans took pleasure last week in telling us we were going down, and that hurt. And there's that old saying, it's too good to go down, and I do think there's talent in this squad. I do think on a budget we recruited well in the summer, but you're never too good to go down. And I always maintain, and I know it's cliched, but if you're there or thereabouts come Christmas, you're in a dogfight. Cardiff need to get out of it prior to the World Cup break.
And to touch on Rotherham today, to touch on the team we're playing next week in Sunderland, as long as the likes of Rotherham and Wigan and Sunderland are clear of that bottom three, then there are going to be three championship teams who think they're too good to go down.
Completely that. I think it will become concertinaed again. I think a couple of wins, if Cardiff got 2 wins this week, all of a sudden you're looking up rather than looking down. But that's easier said than done. And you're right, at the moment, Rotherham playing with confidence. Sunderland under Tony Mowbray now, he's a shrewd operator. He knows what it takes to be successful in the Championship. Cardiff, enthusiastic, there is talent, a little naive so far this season. They've got to start becoming streetwise very quickly.
Let's quickly then, before we have a bit more of a chat about today's game, let's run you through the Cardiff team for this afternoon before we hear from the manager, Mark Hudson. And we knew there'd be changes, obviously, enforced. Mark Harris leads the line this afternoon in place of the suspended Callum Robinson. Good news, Perry and G back in the side, back in at centre-half alongside Cedric Creeper. Midfield three remains the same. And there's some solidity, or consistency rather, at the right-back position as well, where rightly Tom Sang keeps his place because he was excellent a week ago.
He was the bright spot. I say that, the resiliency was a bright spot, but in terms of individual performances, he was very much the bright spot. And it wasn't just his defending, and he defended very well, he's very mobile, very athletic, but he's got very nice distribution of the ball. He can put a ball into a channel, he can put a ball into an area. He gives you something going forward, not in terms of bombing past players perhaps, but his distribution on the ball is very good. He can pick a pass. I thought he was one of the players of pre-season. I would like him to be in and around the squad. I'd like us to use him more often. Whatever happened last year, he went away on loan. Tom Sang, I want to have a future at this football club. I believe it's the last year of his contract. Important for him now to kick on and show that he should be staying at Cardiff City.
JP talking about Tom Sang there, who started right back for Cardiff City this afternoon, and actually we caught up with him. He was on media duties this week, so let's hear from him, and also before that from the manager Mark Hudson to hear what they had to say in the lead up to this game with Rotherham United.
Yeah, of course, for me it's a big opportunity to go and show that I'm still there, that I can still add to the team and put on a performance. But for the game, of course, for everyone in the club, everyone involved, it's really disappointing. Yeah, I was actually, as soon as I hit it, I was already running off to the away fans, but it's one of them, and I think it's things like that, little moments in the game, if he doesn't see that and it goes in the top corner, we maybe sit behind it for the rest of the game and get a result.
We look back at the prep going into the game, the build up to it. I thought we got it spot on. I thought we showed the first 7 minutes of we were there, we were ready, and we played and started the game how we wanted. Obviously we come off the back of a tough week, but to show that attitude going into the game was exactly what we asked for. And the result isn't what we wanted.
Like for me, the last time I got me run in the team, it's taking advantage of an opportunity like an injury. Obviously you don't wish that on any other player, but sometimes that's how it's got to be for me to get my chance and try and prove myself. But I played midfield pre-season. I feel like I've done really well. I feel like I can add to the team in both positions really. So
we'll have to show a reaction from the week that we've had and get a positive result on Saturday. Yeah, we know what they're about. I went to watch them on Tuesday night. Watched the commentary Rotherham game. We know it's going to be a physical game. We know that we're going to have to be right at it. We're going to have to show our intensity, stamp our authority on the game, and that's something that we look forward to.
Yeah, I think so. I think energy off the ball and then quality up the pitch. I think that's where I can add to the team. But again, for me, it's just any game I can get on that pitch. It doesn't matter where. I'll just do everything I can.
I would suggest that we have spoke about the moments and we approach each game. We spoke about Rotherham this morning already. We've trained together. We've had some play in a game on Tuesday to get minutes to top up, which is something that we believe in, so everyone's at the same level, and everyone should be ready and raring to go come Saturday.
Exactly, we're going to need every single man in the change room, so I feel like there should be some minutes there for me. So again, just be prepared and give it everything I can.
I would suggest that we have spoke about the moments and we approach each game. We spoke about Rotherham this morning already. We've trained together. We've had some play in a game on Tuesday to get minutes to top up, which is something that we believe in, so everyone's at the same level, and everyone should be ready and raring to go come Saturday.
Yeah, again, it's when the first few weeks, it's always just about getting the lads together, and that's more so, and then eventually start to bring up more themes. But I think, of course, we play a lot more football now. I think it's a lot much better for the fans and stuff to see, especially when we're on it.
Tom Sang, and before that Mark Hudson there, talking ahead of today's kick-off between Cardiff City and Rotherham United here at a rather gloomy Cardiff City Stadium. Busy week for the Bluebirds coming up. Rotherham this afternoon, Watford here at home in midweek, doesn't get any easier, and then that long trip to Sunderland next Saturday with that World Cup break looming, and 4 weeks without football upcoming. It is important that Cardiff do start to get points on the board, and as you said, give everyone a little bit of a lift around us. Just a reminder of the team then ahead of kick-off here this afternoon, and the changes: Mark Harris starting up top in place of Callum Robinson, who of course is suspended for the next 3 games. Retention of places, the midfield 3, kind of expected that. They did perform admirably last week in a very difficult cause. The 2 wide men remain in situ as well, in Callum O'Dowda and Shea Ojo, and 1 change in the back line where Perry and G comes back in to partner Cedric Keeper at the heart of defence. We've spoken about Tom Sang and the job he did. Looking specifically towards Rotherham, we know how they like to play. It's a 3 at the back formation. New manager Matt Taylor hasn't ripped that up at all. You're looking at that right-hand channel of their defensive line. We know all about Lee Peltier. We know all about his great assets. We also know, all about his the things that have held him back sometimes as a player. Lack of pace and ill discipline, and he won't mind me saying that at all. And you've got the 36-year-old Richard Wood alongside him. If you can get Mark Harris working those channels, if you can get Callum O'Dowda in between Wimback and Peltier in those areas, that's an obvious area where Cardiff can cause problems this afternoon.
It is, and that's why I expected Mark Harris to start. I wasn't sure whether he was going to lead the line. I wondered whether Keon Atet might get the shout to be the out-and-out number 9, to maybe just bring something fresh, a bit of enthusiasm to the crowd. But Mark Harris is the pragmatic choice to, as you say, really try and stretch Wood and Peltier. I got to say about Lee Peltier, I always thought he was going to turn into a centre-half rather than a right-back in the later stages of his career. I would have continued to give him 1-year contracts at Cardiff City. I would. I was a huge Lee Peltier fan. I thought he was the best defensive defender at the club. He is savvy. Wood is savvy. If they get their positioning right, if you get into a physical battle with them and try and turn them, use body position on them, they'll probably win out. But if you can play those passes into the channels and get O'Dowda running, Harris running, and that's why I think Tom Sang again can play an important part today. He can drop those balls in. Joe Rawls, we know, can play that lovely kind of sandwich ball into the channel. So, yeah, O'Dowda and Harris, very important to try and exploit the veteran aging legs of Wood and Peltier.
I mean, you don't need any more shining example of their importance to this team, though, than the fact when they were managerless for 3 games, it was those 2 that they turned to even from the dugout to lead them. I never thought I'd say manager Lee Peltier, but it suited him.
It did, and when you've played this long at this level, and let's not forget, 2 years ago he was playing Premiership football, albeit a poor West Brom side, but Sam Allardyce put him back into his Premiership side. He's got experience, he's got know-how, and he can lead players. So, yeah, I'm not sure management's going to be his ultimate goal, but I think as a leader of men on the pitch, him and Wood, there's no better. And what really interests me reading about Rotherham, Ash, they go more direct at home. At home, Matt Taylor was saying they want to get it in and mix it and press the game and really kind of make the game claustrophobic in the opponent's half. But away from home, they play a different style. They want to keep possession. They want to try and save legs. They don't want to be chasing the ball, and maybe they want to protect the likes of Wood and Peltier. So Rotherham United do flip it and do play differently away from home than they do at home. Can Cardiff get amongst them? Can they get on the ball? And as you say, can they turn Peltier and Wood? Because that's probably the key to success.
And accuse me of leaning towards the unglamorous side of Championship football somewhat, but I'm really looking forward to this midfield battle with the 6 men out there. Cardiff have got the pragmatic 3 out there. Sawyers is on the bench. you know what you're getting from the midfield three of Rotherham. I'm a huge admirer of Daniel Barlaser. I think he's an excellent performer. He was brilliant at League One level. Yep. He's been very, very good at the Championship level again. And I really like Ben Wiles and Oliver Rathbone alongside him.
Yeah, and Rathbone was key to the manager speaking this week. He rested him. He could have played against Coventry, but just recovered from injury. He said he wants him fit for 5 games before the World Cup break. He wants him in every game now, so he rested him against Coventry. This is his desired midfield 3. I like all those players you've just named. I think it could be a scrappy affair in midfield, but fascinating to watch. No quarter arse, none given, and maybe who comes out on top of that might win the game today. Up top, Rotherham, Connor Washington always flatters to deceive a little bit for me, but can have good games. Kelly, he's more mobile. He can get in behind the centre halves, but it is the midfield kind of 3 there for Rotherham. I think is their real strong point of the team.
Yeah, so Washington and Kelly both come into this game with 2 goals in the last 4 games each. But you're right. Look, Washington's been here before, hasn't really performed that well. Kelly's an unknown quantity despite being in his mid-20s, coming from Irish football. I mean, that's the question mark about both teams playing here today, isn't it? Where are the goals going to come from on a consistent basis? And, whether it's arrogance or whatever, Cardiff fans will be looking at this game today and saying, Cardiff have to get 3 points. You look at Rotherham's next 4 games before the World Cup break. They've got Burnley away, Norwich at home, Sheffield United away, Luton Town at home. Millers fans will be saying today they have to beat Cardiff City going into those 4 games.
But I'm one of those Cardiff City fans saying Cardiff City should win today. I expect a win for Cardiff City today. And I would be disappointed if we don't see that bounce back. Where are the goals going to come from? It's a question we've been asking all season. And this is one of the reasons I see people saying about, I think Niles and Konku could do with a rest at the moment. I would take him out. People are saying, would you play Callum O'Dowda there? Well, I think Callum O'Dowda is your best bet to get round the side, create chances, stretch the opposition in conjunction with Mark Harris. So I think that would really negate Cardiff City if Callum O'Dowda were to drop in. He's key for Cardiff City. Most good things happen through Callum O'Dowda. Hopefully he shines today with Cardiff keeping 11 men on the pitch. But yeah, I don't expect a 5-4 scoreline, Ash.
We are 11 minutes away from finding out whether your optimism will be true or not. Thank you very much, as ever, for joining John and myself here on Matchday Live, courtesy of Cardiff City TV, ahead of kickoff here against Rotherham United. If you are tuning in to watch, you've got myself and Connor Pearce live commentary on the Cardiff City app. Please buy your Matchday pass now. Otherwise, if you're going to be listening instead, then you are going to be joined by John Donovan and Mark Denham, and we will have live coverage of the Bluebirds and the Millers the other side of these messages.
The number 1 herself,
Karen Chamberlain.
the cat in goals. She's fabulous.
She is.
She's having a well good season so far in pre-season.
Absolute machine in goals.
Underrated.
Yeah, good egg.
Emily Roberts. She's a little mouse starting to get out of the cage, isn't she?
Might have to look on Wikipedia about her, because I'm not sure about her yet, are we?
Yeah.
New to the squad.
We're getting to know her. Lisa Owen, our own Louise.
AKA Louise. Louise 1.
Louise 1.
And Louise 3.
There we go. Yeah, she's got a baby on the way.
Yeah, she will
Very
be back.
excited. She will be back. Daniel Green.
Hostess with the most steps.
Party animal. She
Can't
loves
say.
a party.
Her and Katrina hold the best parties.
Yeah. Michaela Cook. Interesting one. Very bright future, I think.
Yeah.
Very quiet. We got quite a few girls coming up from the 19s who
We're not sure about yet.
Yeah, but we're getting to know them. They're just started in the.
She is fast though, don't get me wrong. Can't say I'd like to chase her.
No. Leon Price.
Who's that?
Big baller. You not heard of him before? Big baller. Scores wildies for fun, doesn't she? Croc Queen. She loves a bit of Crocs. I think she should be sponsored by Crocs.
Yeah, just saying Crocs if you're watching.
Stunning.
Sponsor us. Is it Hannah Daly?
Hannah Power.
And she really does have the power.
She does.
Yeah. Dog mum.
Yeah.
Absolute dog mum.
Yeah.
Loves a dog.
We went to a wedding. We had a little bit of dance.
Yeah.
We control the dance floor.
Yeah. Of what you can remember anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Sorry.
yeah. Siobhan
The
Walsh.
big captain herself.
Yeah, absolute hard man on the pitch, but a big softie off there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, absolute
100%.
softie.
Big softie.
Teddy bear.
Yeah. Brick wall. brick wall. I think that's one of the reasons I came to Cardiff, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Just not to play against Shiv Walsh, you know what I mean?
We want to be on
captain
the end
herself.
of the challenges.
Yeah.
No.
Let me describe her in one sentence, right?
Can you?
She can't tell her left from her right, okay? That's just how you describe her. She's funny. She's so funny.
An interesting character, Holly.
She is one of my best mates.
But got a heart of gold.
Oh, yeah.
A good egg.
Unbelievable
Barry
Town. She's come from Barry Town. Loves an aerial ball.
Yeah.
A big header, like.
Yeah.
Scored a cracking goal on the weekend.
Oh, will do. If you get the chance to see the highlights,
oh yeah,
cracking finish.
Cracking goal.
Shame was in the wrong goal, but yeah, great finish. She's right there.
Live
It was a cracking finish. A good egg, Saren.
Good egg, yeah. My partner in crime.
Always on holiday.
Been
So,
to Dubai. Where
You've probably seen her more than us.
Probably. Yeah.
So yeah, a traveller. I'll call it, give her
Traveller.
a traveller.
A traveller.
Saren is.
Top 5 in association with the Big Yellow Self-Storage Company.
Rotherham half near side, Malone takes it, finding Whittingham, floats the cross in, headed away by Belaye, and it's headed forward by Immers, a chance here, Pilkington, can he get the equaliser? He can!
It's a lovely finish from Anthony Pilkington, but it's a brilliant reverse ball from Stuart O'Keefe, who leads himself forward. It all comes from a cross from Whittingham to the left-hand side. He sees Stuart O'Keefe making a run into the box. He doesn't think he can deliver it directly, so he tries to drop it on the head of him.
Away in Forest, third half, we have 2-1 up and moving into Norwich. Norwich next back from Cameron Cyril, Michael Kiteley. Zohor, left side of goal, and he scored! A remarkable goal, it's 4-0. He was at an angle on the left, he hit it left-footed, it went inside the far post. It's Cardiff City 4, Rotherham United 0.
Wonderful technique. Such an acute angle.
And then Noon chips it away towards the near side to Kadeem Harris, near side of the Rotherham area, taking on Kelly, going to the byline, chipping the crossing. Noon with the shot, 3-0.
Lovely improvisation from Craig Noon on the finish. It's a beautiful cross-field ball to get things moving. Kadeem Harris again, space to move into. And we've seen him do this the last few weeks. His final ball has improved immeasurably in recent months, and he just flips and stands up a nice ball towards the back post. Craig Noon arriving late, and volleys them all home.
It's a heavy touch, looks to play it back towards the edge of the box. Henderson's in there again, Kennedy looking to help it up, goes back to Matt Connolly. Plays that forward, Cardiff onside, Makeda, it's a second for Cardiff, and it's a fantastic goal. It's a fantastic goal for Federico Makeda, right-footed. It all seemed as if it had gone a little bit wrong for Cardiff. Henderson took that throw short, Makeda got a heavy touch on it, wobbled around the edge of the area, and then when Kennedy held that forward, Makeda beat the offside trap, hit it first time right-footed, across goal.
Pilkington wins it. Will need to play that back to his goalkeeper, but he decides not to and turns away from trouble. Gets out of it well and finds Connolly far side, and that's a good ball forward to Zohor. And Zohor getting on the end of it, locks the goalkeeper and scores! 5-0!
It's a wonderful finish from Kenneth Zohor. It's a lovely football from back to front from Cardiff. Pilkington takes a chance, turns away from trouble in a centre-half position. Cardiff build their way up the right. It's a beautiful ball lifted over the top into the stride of Kenneth Zohor. He just opens up his body and lifts the ball past. Good evening, welcome to Cardiff City TV.
What a finish, what a goal! Davies crossing the skate, headed back, good save from Olsen.
Good afternoon, welcome to Cardiff City TV, welcome to the Cardiff City Stadium, where autumn and the gloom are well and truly here, and part of that is down to the results on the pitch at the moment. Cardiff head into this afternoon's game with Rotherham United off the back of 3 consecutive defeats. Queen's Park Rangers, Swansea City, all putting Cardiff to the sword in the last 3 fixtures, and Cardiff obviously looking this afternoon to bounce back from that disappointing Derby Day defeat 6 days ago, just down the road against our bitter rivals. There were obviously reasons outside of performance that led to that result. Callum Robinson dismissed 7 minutes in, which made things an uphill battle, to say the least, on the afternoon. But nonetheless, Cardiff looking to respond to the Bluebirds faithful this afternoon. Pensive looking Joe Rolls waits to lead out his team in the tunnel at present. Waiting the visitors, mid-table Rotherham United side, who, just like Wigan, just like Sunderland, their fellow promoted teams last season, really defying expectations at the moment, looking comfortable, sitting comfortable, come into this game with just 1 defeat in their last 4 games, and a defeat at the hands of a poorly Hull City side they'll be disappointed to have lost. There's wins over Huddersfield, wins over Stoke, and a 2-2 draw with a resurgent Coventry a week ago, or midweek rather, that fixture. 2-2 on Tuesday night. Cardiff have a big week ahead of them. Watford to come, Sunderland next Saturday, but it starts this afternoon here against Rotherham United as Joe Rolls and Richard Wood lead out their respective sides. Rotherham in their change strip of yellow and black. Well, tiger stripe, I guess, is the way to describe it. Cardiff, of course, head to toe in blue with white trim. And there's a weight of expectation on the shoulders of those 11 men this afternoon. Cardiff fans expect a performance, expect a win, quite frankly, to banish the demons of the past week. And there are 2 changes to the side ahead of kick-off. One, we expected Callum Robinson, of course, suspended for his infraction a week ago, so Mark Harris starts in the middle of the attacking line as well. And there's also a return for Perry G. He slots back in alongside Cedric Keeper at centre-half. Tom Sang keeps his place at right back. It's a settled side for Rotherham United. Back comes Oliver Rathbone, who sat out in midweeks, but that's been a real consistent midfield 3 for Rotherham, and they've performed brilliantly. Superb experience in the back line. 36-year-old Richard Wood wears the captain's armband, and to his right, a very, very welcome return for Lee Peltier to the Cardiff City Stadium, an absolute warrior in his time as a Bluebird. There's Joe Rolls wearing the captain's armband this afternoon, and this afternoon a slightly more noticeable captain armband than usual, as this is one of the EFL's designated Rainbow Laces fixtures, and Cardiff are proud to be supporting that cause. And you can see, you probably can't see it from your viewpoint, but to the left of the grandstand here at the Cardiff City Stadium, there is a proud Bluebirds rainbow flag